Hello and welcome to this Star Wars Armada bat rep. In this game we will have one onager with two TIE fighter squadrons going up against a Nebulon B and a CR-90 Corvette. This is a 3x3 table. We're doing 200 points per side. The onager is equipped with Grand Moff Tarkin, Commander Beck, Gunnery Chief Varnillion, Gunnery Teams, H9 Turbo Lasers, Orbital Bombardment, Particle Cannon and Cataclysm, with two basic TIE Fighters. Over on the other side we have a CR-90 Corvette A with Leia Organa, Nav Team, Electronic Countermeasures, Enhanced Armament and the Tantive V4. We also have the Nebulon B, General Weapons Liaison, Engineering Team and H9 Turbo Lasers, and the Redemption. Say hello to my cat, who will also be helping in this game. Right then, I'm coming back to you after the deployment and we've drawn the objective. So over in the right hand corner we have the onager, both TIE fighters in front. First one does have Howl Runner's card, but it is only a normal TIE. On the far side of the board, we have a Corellian Corvette, a Luke Skywalker in the middle, and our Nebulon B over on the far side. The objective this turn was Advanced Gunnery. For this, we had to choose a ship, which would be our objective ship. It was the Corvette, and obviously the onager. The first player in this scenario are the Rebels, and the second player is the Imperials, which is me. So in this engagement, the Corellian Corvette gets to shoot out the same hull zone twice. It cannot target the same hull zone, but therefore it can target the same ship, just a different hull zone. And it cannot target the same squadron. However, for the Imperials, it can target the same target with the same shot at the same arc. The end of the game, the fleet point cost of the destroyed objective ship is doubled, but you do not count the cost of the upgrade cards. So then, I'll come back to you after turn 1. At the end of turn 2, the onager has swiveled around using its speed 1 and has the Nebulon B directly in its sight and just about has a side arc shot on and a side shot on it. Meanwhile, the Corellian Corvette has tried to come round and flank. It's out of its front firing arc, but it's in the side firing arc, however, out of range. Over here, the Luke Skywalker moved up, and the two TIE fighters have moved up and split. This one is obviously in combat with Luke, however this one is out of combat with Luke, but is in with range one of the other, so the swarm keyword will still be in effect. We will come back to you after turn 2. After the Nebulon B turn, it slowed down to speed 1 and added an extra click in with the navigate to try and get out of that front fire arc of the onager. However, it is just in the fire arc and its hide is completely in. So, for the onager's front fire arc, we have 3 red dice, 2 blue dice, and 2 black dice. All into the side of that Nebulon B. He has 1 shield on each side and 5 hull points. We have a accuracy on Gunnery Chief Varnillion, and we have a concentrate fire order. So we are in from cardboard to cardboard. We are in medium range, just in medium range. So we'll add an extra blue dice for our concentrate fire order, and we get We'll swap our no hit for another accuracy. Another accuracy. So we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits and a crit. 2 accuracies and a crit. So we'll cancel his 2 half damage. At medium range, he can force me to re-roll one. And he's, which one? The black one. Re-rolling the black to get nothing. So we still get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage on each side, which will be enough to knock him out with a crit. So that Nebulon B this turn is gone. Now, because this is second player, I may perform each of its attacks from the same hull zone, and it may do against at the same target. We don't have the same target to fire at, so we will use our gunnery teams, if we can, to fire across the Corvette, which is just out of range. So, we'll come back now again at the end of turn 2. After the second turn, the Onager absolutely obliterated what used to be a Nebulon B. The Tantive 4 Corellian Corvette swoops right round to come in at the side of the Onager. The Onager won't be able to get a front arc no matter what he does next turn or the turn after. So he'll be using his double side arc attack at the same target for being second player. Over here, the Luke Skywalker attacked the one TIE Fighter. He got 3 accuracies and a hit. Meanwhile, the other TIE moved up, the other TIE activated and got 3 hits. Luke Skywalker used his half damage to evade, then the other TIE attacked and did an extra 3. Back over here, this engagement next turn will be an interesting one, as we have only 2 shields on the side of our Onager. So, objective ship versus objective ship. We'll come back to you after turn. So the Corvette just attacked. It did 2 damage on the side of the Star Destroyer, which braced and then redirected to the front, as that was the only attack that was coming in this turn. And then he used his return fire and did 1 damage off the front of the Tantive 4. He's now attacking back at the side with 3 red and a black to get 3 hits. The Tantive 4 will use the redirect to redirect 2 to the one side, taking its one side down to 0, and then eliminating the shield off the front and putting 1 damage on it. However, because it's the second ship and the objective ship, it then gets to fire out the same hull zone at the same ship, the same target, twice. Rolling again to get 2 more hits on the Tantive 4, putting 3 damage on it on total, and it needs 1 more damage to kill. With its concentrate fire order, we're going to re-roll or add a dice. So we'll add a blue dice to get a hit and to blow up the Tantive 4. Over to the fighters. So, Luke activates first. He has 4 blue dice, but we're missing a dice, so 3 and 1 more. So, critical won't count. The extra dice is a hit. That is enough to wipe out the full health TIE Fighter squad. The low health TIE Fighter squad attacking back with 3 blue dice, no rerolls. He has a very accurate shot that does 1 damage to Luke. However, that will be game. Luke Skywalker on 1, the other TIE on 2. And the Onager receiving 2 damage to its front shield and 2 damage to its side shield. That is game 1 of 3 today. We'll come back with the second game. This is the second game of the day. We have my cat and I versing the same player as last time. We've both got a bit of time. He hadn't got his Imperials with him. He's only got the starter set. So I've given him my Imperials, my victory class, which is from the starter set. He's also got a 3 fighter squads and Howrunner. We're having to use the same tie card as I only have the one of it. I have the Onager, as that's the only other Imperial ship I own. I feel really bad for bringing it up against him, but and that should be the game. We are playing minefields. We have done the objective. We'll come back to you after deployment and setup. So then, I was made to be first player in this engagement, which was a bit annoying, seeing as I had an Onager that requires you to aim it to be pretty useful. So we have a piece of debris or asteroids in each of the corners. We have the station in the middle and one to the left. Within one of the debris or minefields, you have to place an objective token. If a ship at any time goes in range 1 of an objective token, you roll 2 blue dice. Each result of a critical and a hit would cause a damage. Critical, 1 face up, and if it's a normal hit, it's a normal hit. So that would be 1 face up, 1 face down. You can't double crit with the minefields. So, as I was forced to go first, I went Onager straight down the centre, so I got the manoeuvrability to go either way. I deployed ties either side next. His first ship and only ship was the Victory class, and it's the Victory 2, so the long range version. He's deployed it on the far left, if looking from his side, right from my side. He's deployed it with 4 TIE fighters, Howrunner at the front, 3 at the back. He's deployed it in the corner. I suspect he's deployed it in the corner to try and bring it up the side and try and avoid that ignition arc. So as first player, I have to shoot and move first. So obviously I have no shooting. My first command dial is a concentrate fire. I will take that as a token, and then I'm going to move my speed 1 clip at speed 1, and moving up that 1 click. Not within range 1 of any objective tokens. So, moving on to his turn. I'll come back after he's moved his victory. Right then, after his movement, the victory he's moved up. It's speed 2 from this side. It revealed a squadron command. And he has all fighters follow me and flag bridge. Therefore, he moved 3 of his fighters, one of which being Howrunner, up speed 5, which is why you see the one behind on speed, which only moves speed 4, just clicking it across because you've forgotten to do it. My Onager has line of sight using the token onto the victory. My fighters have stayed back this turn. So yeah, we'll come back to you next turn. In the end, I did decide to move my fighters at the end of the turn. Don't know why I thought I was leaving them. Anywho, we revealed a concentrate fire dial, and we also have our concentrate fire token. So, due to having the orbital bombardment particle cannon, we can set up our token at long range. Once we've set our token up at long range, we can then measure again from the token, which is in long range. This is extreme range. So, we have a shot all the way across into his side arc, which is unobstructed. Due to it being long range, we only get our red dice. So, due to our concentrate fire dice, So we'll add one, we'll re-roll our red die using our token to get a critical. And then we'll re-roll one, which will be our extra, but I only have 3 red dice, which is a normal hit. So that's 2 crits and 2 hits on the front. We'll come back after that has been designated. However, first, before we go, we'll do our anti-squadron, which is a blue and a red. Blue and a black, sorry. So, blue and a black from cardboard. Unfortunately gets only Hellrunner. So we'll do our 1 blue, which hits. Hellrunner is going to scatter. Pretty predictable. So, come back after the victory. So at the very end of that turn, the victory moved up 2 with 1 click at speed 2. Very close to coming off the board and instantly losing. My 2 ties, because I was first player, had to move up, and the one got shredded by Hellrunner and flanking unit. The other has taken 1 damage off him. He moved up. So we'll come back to you with the Onager's ignition attack next turn. So the Onager revealed a engineering. I thought by this stage I would have taken some damage, but I forgot how slow the victory is when it's being played. So what we're going to do is, we've got our ignition attack, we've just measured range, we discount the first bit to the token, then we go from the token to the ship, which is in black, blue and red dice range. This is an extreme range shot as it goes past long range, but however we do still get to use the black dice and the blue dice because it starts again from all the way up to the red, it's everything, and then from the token, not the red, from the token onwards, that's where it starts to degrade due to the orbital bombardment. If I was using the particle amp one, I think it is, basically the blue firing effect, you have to go from medium instead of long range on the initial placement of that token. Anywho, because everything's in range, we have our 3 red dice, our 2 blue dice, and our 2 black dice. We have no re-rolls, so we have an accuracy which we'll use to cancel the brace, 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, and a critical. So he's going to redirect to the sides, which cancels all but 1, and then the crit and the normal go on the front. And then, due to gunnery teams, we get to fire again. So at the front, we have all of those ties in blue range. So the Star Destroyer variant gets to roll a blue and a black, but will only get to roll a blue. We'll be rolling a flak against all of his ties. So his first tie gets a hit. Second tie, crit. So that's not a hit. And hits. Last tie, critical. So we'll come back to you after the turn. At the end of that turn, my 1 TIE fighter that was left managed to finish off one of his ties with 2 damage. However, the 3 ties against him absolutely obliterated him. So the victory moved up its 2. It had nothing in range to fire. This turn it will have the Onager in range. However, will it last to that phase? So the Onager will fire its its orbital bombardment super weapon first. So we are within red dice range. So first of all, because we've got gunnery team, we can fire out the same arc twice. So we only have 1 target. However, we're using 2 different attacks. Therefore, we can fire out of the same hull zone at the same target. So, we'll use his normal front attack of 2 red dice, 2 blue dice, and 1 black dice first. So out of that, he will only get the 2 red dice because it's a normal attack, which do 3 damage. So he's bracing and redirecting that 3 damage to the side. So he'll take 2 damage on the side, which will knock out his 1 side shield. Now we'll go with the super laser attack, which is 3 red, 2 blue, 2 black. So we have a crit, a hit and a crit. Oh, just flip that. A crit, a normal hit, sorry. 2 accuracies, a hit, and a hit. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our accuracies to cancel the unused brace and the unused redirect. Actually, no, we don't need to. So we'll just cancel the brace and a redirect. But he can't redirect because he's got no side shields. So, no brace, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4 damage going in, which takes out the front shield, and does 2 hull damage, with another hull damage and a face up. So, shields, 1, 2, 3 off the hull, and a critical effect. So, we'll come back to you after the victory has... Just before the victory goes, I forgot to do my order, which was a concentrate fire. So we'll add an extra black dice to get an extra hit. And when we pulled out the cards for the victory's damage, we had 3 normal and 1 which is crew damage, which means he can't ready up any of his used defense tokens. So at the moment, the victory is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. So the victory is going to attack back at my onager. He has his front attack at long range, and his side arc is going to go off into nowhere. So he's going to use his front arc, and he has 3 red dice in range. Oh, that was a big spread. So we got a crit, a hit, and nothing. So we're just going to take that face-up damage, which will be 2 off the front shields, 2 off the front shields, 4 and 3. And then his ties are going to move in, and we'll come back to you at the onager stage of the next turn. So the victory's in a pretty poor state at the moment. He's got 5 damage on him, and he's got no front or side shields. The onager had all these ties flying to its front last turn. However, they won't be able to attack because he didn't activate a squadron order. So this turn, the onager will fire everything it's got into your victory. So just checking to see if his ignition arc is in. It's a bit tricky. Oh, just nudged him across. So his front arc will not... Oh, it... line it up. So his front arc is just in. So we're going to fire everything he's got out of his front again into the victory's front, which will be, oof, an appalling roll. Done 1, 2, 3, 4 damage and a cancel. So we'll cancel the brace and do 4 damage, which is enough to kill the victory. So that is the victory on this turn. However, that's not the end, because he still does have his ties. He still has the ties, which they won't bring it down, but we'll still carry it on to the end of the turn. So at close range, I get blue and a black dice for anti-squadron fire. So I will use the flak attack to attack all of them. So first guy, 2 damage. That's enough to blow him up. Second guy, which is Hal, who should have been on who's scattered, sorry, so he's now down on 2. Oh, sorry, scattering. And the last guy, we got a accuracy and a hit, which takes him down to 2. So that will be the end of the turn. The Onager took 2 hull damage, 2 shields. We lost both our TIE squadrons. He lost 2 TIE squadrons, kept Tower Runner, but lost the victory at the same time. So that will be a win for the Onager again. I feel sorry for bringing the Onager against the victory this turn. This game, sorry. We will come back with a wrap up after all these games later. So we might have one last game, we might not. I think it'll be against Rebels again, and I think it's going to be against the what's it called? The Nebulon B and the Corvellian Corvette again. However, I think I'm going to go with I've got a campaign coming up, so I'm going to go with my campaign list, which is a Victory Star Destroyer, the Victory 1, the Test Bed Onager, Hal Runner, and 1 Squadron. And I can't remember if I got Tarkin or the guy who comes with the Onager for the General, but we might be bringing more videos about the campaign, we might not, but we'll probably be coming back with another game against the Rebels, so see you in a bit. So I could get my third game for the day in. I'm playing against my mate that I play against, well, in Warhammer and in Armada. We go to our local gaming club, and we're on in about 3 to 4 weeks time trying to set up a campaign. Got roughly 6 to 8 players who are interested in playing. I'm just testing out my list, and he's testing out just a complete random, small, fast, nippy list. I must admit here and now that this is probably my 5th game of Armada ever. This is the core set victory, and those are the core set dice. Everything here is pretty much core set, except for this bad boy. This I bought after playing 2 games, realising I absolutely love playing Armada, and that after playing 2 games with the victory, I played one with all the upgrades possible from the base set, and Harunner and 2 ties. It's good, but it's not that good, because you don't have maneuverability, B, you can't play certain missions like the one we're playing now, which is Hyperspace Assault. It also doesn't have some of the firepower. I played a game against I played 2 games. One was against another Victory, but it was the Victory 1, Black Dice version of it. And the player I was playing against, he had a load of upgrades for it, so he could do all this nippy stuff, and then he released a salvo on me, and he literally took my victory out first turn. And the first game I played was against, I can't remember the name of them, but it's the small cruiser variants, the Architects, that's the name, the Architects. And he'd got 2 Architects and 1 unit of flotillas and 2 TIE defenders. My 3 TIEs died instantly against the defenders. I instantly took out his flotillas. However, his Architects, which had got the manoeuvrability, could manoeuvre out of my deadly front arc quite easily. So I decided I need another ship to make my list more A, viable, B, it allows me to play more missions where you have to deploy 1 ship off and 1 ship on, and C, who could resist a ship that looks like a lightsaber handle, that also fires a virtual lightsaber shot straight out the front of it, destroying pretty much anything in its path. From game 1, we know that it can destroy pretty much anything, as it took out one of those Nebulon Bs. So anyhow, I've got a campaign coming up that I've said I'm interested in going. I've said I will go to it. There's going to be 8 players. We're going to have 200 to 250 points, and we're going to escalate the points per battle. So this is my 250 point. It can easily go down to 230 point. If I want to go down to 200 points. If I want to get down to 200 points, I will ditch all of my TIE fighters, which takes all 32 points off. That I am over 200. This is 232 points. Take TIEs off, and it's 200 points on the dot. 232 altogether. So anyway, we have the Onager Onager, which is not the which is the test bed version. I do need to change the card over. We have the Orbital Bombardment, General Armada, and Gunnery Team. So Gunnery Team's pretty good on the Onager because you get to fire out the same fire arc. However, you don't get to use your super laser pulse thing again. So you basically just get a super big shot and then a few smaller shots. And then we have the Victory 1 class Star Destroyer, which is the Black Dice version. I do need to change the cards for these two over. Then we have Howl Runner and 2 normal TIE Fighters. Across on the other side of the board, we have the Nebulon B Escort Frigate, which has the General Dunar, or whatever his face, Weapon Liaison Team, Engineering Team, H9 Turbo Lasers, and Redemption, which is the ship. Then on our CR-90 Corvette, it is Corvette A. We have Leia Organa, Nav Team, Electronic Countermeasures, Advanced Armament, which gives us 1 red die out of each of our sides, which knocks us up to 2 red and 1 blue. And Tantive 4. We then have Luke Skywalker and 3 normal X-Wing squadrons. Same goes with this squadron, with this setup, really. If you get rid of all the X-Wings, it's a 200 point. I think it is, isn't it? So, yeah. So that's 200, just under 200 points. 192. With these 3, it knocks it up to 291 or 231. Sorry, yeah, 231. Right then, so we're playing minefields. So we both place the asteroids, debris, and the space station alternating, and then the first player was actually the Rebels because they had less points. So the Rebels decided to go first. So they get to deploy 1 ship on the board and another ship in hyperspace. That ship can't come in until turn 2 onwards. It can then come in on one of these objectives. Within range 1 of it with 3 squadrons. So, for example, we could have the Nebulon B right at the back, out of everything's range, staying as far back and as hidden as it possibly can. We can then have the Corvette, for example, pop in on one of these, and we could have our Onager here. It could be aiming over there. Corvette pops in here, side arc, round. Onager tries to manoeuvre, round the back shot. Then you've also got the squadrons that can pop in and take out squadrons from behind. So, we'll come back after deployment. We've got our nice asteroid belt, and all of the hyperspace jumps are on our side of the board as the Imperial player. So we'll come back after deployment. So after deployment, it was quite a funny deployment because as the Rebels are first, because they wanted to do the hyperspace jump, they deployed their Corvette off the board. So then I had to deploy one of my ships. Obviously, I'm not deploying this one. This is my sniper. This needs to go on last. So I deployed my Victory. He deployed his two of his normal X-Wings off the board. I deployed 2 of my TIEs in front of the Victory. He deployed 1 Luke Skywalker off the board with a TIE fighter on the board, over in the corner. I then deployed a TIE fighter. Sorry, it was Harunner and TIE first turn, then it was the 2 TIEs. It was then back over to him, who placed the Nebulon B in the corner. It was then over to me, and I placed my Onager. And then that was deployment. So we had the same amount of units deploying. Yeah, so the victory is kind of out of the way and a bit irrelevant at this point. Unless I think it's just going to be staying back and being a bit of an anti-Corellian corvette and fighter support. It's because it's got its 3 squadron command, so you can command those 3 TIEs out in front. And then the Onager's got the test bed's only got 1 squadron command, so it can command its 1 support unit. However, this guy, because he can control 3, he's going to be more of he's going to be more of a carrier this game, and he's going to be just a deterrent to bring the Corvette on from this side, because this guy's going to have to angle that way to get into range of to get an arc on the Nebulon B. So if he brings it in over here, he will be in front arc. If he brings it in on here, it'll be in side arc, and if he brings it on here, it'll be in side arc. So by placing the victory over this side, it's a deterrent to deploy on these 2. And this one's kind of out in the open. It hasn't got all the fire up from the victory, but it does have the front arc from the test bed here. So we'll have to see what happens. That'll come on turn 2. I think I've got a bit of an unfair advantage because it's myself and my cat again playing this game. So yeah, we'll come back to you after turn 1. So then, after turn 1, not a lot's happened. The victory used a command dial to change his speed down to 1. The Onager took the token for nav, and he has moved up speed 3. TIEs have all just moved up, all in medium range of the carrier ship for this game, in range of the Onager. Everything's in range of pretty much everywhere now, so I can move on all of the asteroids. These 2 points are covered by the victory and the 3 TIEs. This one here is not that covered. It's because this guy at the moment is going to fight absolutely everything forward to this over to here, isn't he? To try and get this guy gone. I think he's in close range. Let me just check. From the token, he is in wrong side. Stupid idiot. He is in, he's in close range. So he'll be receiving 4 red and 3 black this turn. So yeah. So we're going to move on to the Onager's turn, because that's going to be nice and fun. So we'll do that quickly now. So he's got 4 shots out the front. So he's using his thing. We've only got 3 red, so we're going to have to re-roll a miss or add on to and try and remember. So, right then, so we've got a focus, a hit and a crit, nothing, a hit, a crit, and a nothing. I forgot to turn my dial over. It's a concentrate fire, so we get to add a dice. That's why so we've got an extra red dice anyway, and I'm going to add a black dice. So technically I'm just re-rolling, but perfect. So we've got an extra hit, and we've got an extra crit. So we've got 3 crits. So we've got 3 crits and 3 hits and a focus. So the Nebulon B has 2 braces and an evade. So I'm going to get rid of the evade because that can discount 2 dice straight off. So the evade's gone. So you can brace, but you can't brace and brace. So bracing, he's going to take half of this away. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can take 3 away. So I'm going to get rid of these 3 here, which leaves us with a crit, a hit, and a hit. Which on each side so the hit will take out his deflectors, and then the hit and the crit will go through. So we'll go and draw the cards for him. And if you're wondering Oh, actually, if you're wondering why I didn't discount dice from being obstructed by this asteroid, it's because of General Armada. While a friendly ship is attacking a ship, if the attacker is obstructed by a ship or obstacle, the attacker does not remove a die, even if the attack is also obstructed by a card effect, may add one red die to the attack pool. So we forgot to add the red die, so we'll do that now. So we got an extra hit, so that will actually go through, because half and then round up. So we've actually taken the shield out with 1, and then put 3 damage on. So we'll go and draw the damage cards now whilst you're here. So we've got the critical effect, which is choose and discard one of the defense tokens, then flip this card face down. Okay, so he's pointed at the brace that was already used, so that's going to be gone this turn. So then this gets turned face down, and then we get to put 2 more damage on him, which means the Nebulon B actually only has 5 health left now. So he's close to dying. We don't have anything else in range of him just yet. And that's going to be that's going to be the shooting from this guy. Then we've got his movement. He's still at speed 3. But we're going to use the navigate token to take him down to speed 1. Put that back. So we're going to put him down to speed 1 now. And we're just going to move forward 1. So clicking it in, picking him up, moving along, and clicking him in. And that's going to be him. Now we go over to the Nebulon B, and we'll come back after the Nebulon's activated, then we'll activate again with the victory. Right, so when you move the Nebulon, you manage to move it out of my fire arc. That's the token that I placed at the end of my turn for next turn's ignition arc. So that's also on the very edge of the ignition. So he's gone just outside of my ignition arc now, which means he's safe from the ignition arc. He's also revealed a engineering. So he's got an engineering value of 3. However, with his engineering team, he gains an additional 1 for that, which means he gets 4. So he can recover a shield and also get rid of. He can recover a shield for 2 and 3 discard 1 damage card. So what he's going to do is he said he's going to spend 3 to get a shield back, and then he's going to use 1 to move a shield. So he's moving a shield from the back to the side, and he's getting rid of 1 of the damage cards, and that goes back in the deck. And then he moves 1 across and removes 1. And that was basically his turn there. Then it goes across back to my victory. My victory won't be in firing range of anyone this turn, but it's worth trying. But we've still got to try and do something with him. We need to cancel out these hyperspace lanes. Anywho, for his dial, we're going to reveal a squadron. So the squadron, activate a number of squadrons at close medium range equal to your squadron value. So we can activate 3 squadrons because that squadron value is 3. Or we can gain it as a token and only activate 1 squadron. 1 squadron against X-Wings aren't going to do anything, but it's better to have the upper hand. So we're going to take the token because those TIE fighters there, they're not getting in range of anyone. So we're going to take the token. He's not in firing range, so we're just going to move his speed 1 up again. So moving speed 1 up, like so. And then that's the board. And then I'll come back to you after maybe the Tantive 4 decided to come in, did he? He came in with his Tantive 4, which is now here, behind the Onager. Came in here, shot its side dice, which was just 1 red, because it was just out of range, because he was over this side to try and get around. But anyway, he shot his 1 red into the side. He gets an extra red because of his enhanced armament. So he shot 2 red into the side. He rolled 2 doubles. So I used my brace to half it, my evade to move it to my front, which has 5 shields, instead of the side that has 2. Then I also used my... I can't remember the name of this one, but it basically allows you to shoot back at the target using their rear value. So we get 1 hit. So we got 1 hit, and when he was here, it was in his side. And he's just going to take it on the side. So there we go. Then all his squadrons moved in that jumped out of hyperspace. Now that was quite comical. So he was rolling 3 red dice and a black dice for Luke. Everything missed. Everything missed. So now we've got all the squadrons just to activate. So I'm pretty sure my squadrons are going to move over this way. This squadron's going to tie all those up to prevent them from shooting this guy anymore. And then that squadron, God knows. Anywho, we'll come back after the squadron. So then, after the squadron phase, my tie here moved up. All 3 of the ties from over there moved across. Howl Runner's in range of this tie. So only this tie will get the Howl Runner reroll. However, both of them get the Swarm. The Howl extra dice, sorry. Blue squadron moved up. Luke Skywalker there. Other 2 squadrons. That was it for the squadron phase. So we're going to move on to the next turn. So as first player, I get first activation. I'm obviously going to activate the Onager first. Try and get it out of all of this mess. So last turn's dial on the bottom, we'll set it first. And then once we've set that, we'll turn all of our dials back up. Then let's reveal our next dial. Our next dial is a squadron, which is quite lucky. So we've got 1 squadron value. So we're going to activate this squadron here. So he can move and shoot. However, he can't move because he's in range. So a TIE fighter gets... no, sorry, we're not going to activate him. We're activating the other one. Or should we activate... We'll activate Howl Runner, who's going to pop around the corner here and into range of Luke. She's then going to fire her 3 dice. She doesn't get 1 because she gets 2 hits on Luke. No accuracies. She can re-roll 1 because of Swarm to 3 hits. Luke has 2 braces. So he's going to brace, which takes us down to 2 damage. So 2 damage on Luke. Then the Onager, because he's activated a squadron, he's then going to move. No, he's going to shoot. So shooting at the Nebulon B first. So he's out of range from the... So he's in range normally, but he's out of range of the super weapon attack, which arc goes along there. So he's just out of the arc for that. So we can either shoot 1 red die at him, ignoring cover, adding 1 if it goes through cover, which it will be. So it'd be 2 red die at the Nebulon B. Or we can double arc the Tantive 4 Corellian Corvette. Now, we wouldn't get an extra dice. However, we would be in blue range from the rear arc, and from the side arc we would be in long range. So we get two red from the side arc and 1 red and a blue from the rear. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go from the side arc into this guy here. Or we're going to go from the side arc and the rear arc into this guy. No additional red dice, but we're going to get 1 blue, 2 red. 3 red, sorry. So that is a crit, a double hit, a nothing, and a crit. So we can't re-roll anything. So we get what? So okay. So he said he's going to evade to make me re-roll the double, which just becomes another crit. And then he said he's going to redirect from the side, which is on 1, to the front, which is on 2. Oh, no, he's evading again. for another crew. So yeah, so I basically eliminate his front shield and his side shield, but he takes no damage. And that's the onager shooting. So onager movements, he's at speed 1. He can't change his speed, so he's going to do 1 click at 1, and that's going to pop him round to there, and he's overlapping an X-wing, so I'm going to pull that X-wing out now, and I get to place that X-wing. Sorry, the video failed for a second there. So he's moved, he's overlapping the asteroids, and he was overlapping this X-wing. So I get to place this X-wing anywhere I want, and I think I'm going to place this X-wing this back corner over here. Now, because he's overlapping asteroids, he will receive damage for that. So asteroids is just 1 damage on any shield. So we're just going to take 1 damage on this side shield here. And then we'll move on to the rebels back after. So at the end of this turn, we chose not to activate our super weapon for this because it's just going to shoot nobody. So the Nebulon B did its 3 mover with maximum yaw value. It swung around this way, revealed an engineering again. So he removed the damage, and then he hasn't done anything else with that spare, with the spare 2. So he actually, sorry, the spare 1 because it takes 3 to take damage off. He took 3 red die shots across at the Victory out of his front to no damage, and out the side he took a red and a blue into the Onager, which also did no damage. Which now puts us on to the Victory. The Victory for this turn, he has range on both of them with red dice, but we're going with, I don't know, but we had a concentrate fire dice. So going off the front of the Victory, we are, oh, that's the wrong side. From cardboard to cardboard, we are only in red dice. From the back of the Victory, the Tantive 4's luckily not in range. So what we're going to do is first I think we're going to do our squadron. So our squadron has to be within medium range to activate. So we're going to activate this boy. So we only get to activate the 1. So he's going to move across, and he's going to move his 4 into the centre over here. He's then going to get to attack. He gets an extra blue dice and a reroll. So he gets 3 hits, and then we'll add 1 die of another hit. So 4 hits on Luke Skywalker. So Luke's going to brace to take that down to 2. So Luke's now going to be down on 1 because we've got to move him last turn. So now we're going to go on to the normal shooting of this guy. So he's only in red. So the Nebulon B is only in red range of him. So we're going to get 3 red dice. So 3 red dice, and we get diddly squat. We get an accuracy and no hits. So we're going to fire out the side now. If we've got range on anyone, we've got blue range with anti-squadron. So no one's in range for that either. So now we're going to go over onto the Rebels' final activation for turn 3. So game's wrapping up now on turn 3. So the Tantive 4 came around another speed 3 max yaw to the left, and it's now parked just behind the Victory and directly behind the Onager. It wasn't in range to fire, so it didn't shoot anything, and unfortunately it had a concentrate fire order, so it's just got the token, which allows it to have a reroll. So we've got Red Squadron here in the middle that needs to activate. We've got 1, 2, 3 ties over here that's still to activate. And that's 3 ties. No, 2 ties, sorry, to activate, because 1 was from the Victory and 1 was already activated because of the Onager. He still has Luke to activate, Purple Squadron, and Blue Squadron around the corner over there. So we'll come back after the Squadron phase. So after the fighter phase, Luke Skywalker is now dead. Howler executed Luke Skywalker. then the tie here took two damage off this guy. He shot back, he couldn't shoot back, sorry, because he moved. Tie in the corner took out this tie, and this guy did no damage to Halrunner because she used her scatter. So we're going to move on to turn 4 now. So only 3 turns left now. So we'll see how things play out. First of all, we'll have the Onager. So the Onager will activate first, and we'll carry on and activate the Onager here. So the Onager's revealed a navigate command. So for the navigate command, I can move up to any speed I want, and I can add your value. So I'm thinking I'm going to move up to speed 2 maybe, and add an extra yaw click to speed 2 to at the first speed. So, but first of all, we're going to have to shoot. So shooting wise for the Onager, we definitely have a side arc on the Nebulon, which is at long range. Out the rear, we have medium range on the Corellian Corvette. So, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot out of its rear arc first. So we've got a blue dice and a red dice into the Corvette, and we get 3 hits. So the Corvette is going to he said evade twice to make me reroll, and then he's going to brace that across from the front to this side, which gives him 1 shield left on the side. So then we're going to shoot out the side arc, and we get two dice obstructed, add a dice, roll it, so we get a crit and a hit. We got the extra dice because we're obstructing its general armada. So a hit and a crit onto the Nebulon. So he's going to half the damage, and then he said he's going to evade to make me re-roll 1. And I get a crit again, and that's going straight into his side that's got no ship, no hull. So drawing a damage card, it is. Deal 1 face down damage card to your ship, then flip this card. So he's now on 4 damage, so he's got 1 health left. So it's nearly over for the Nebulon, which is also the flagship of the enemy fleet, I must say. Then we're going on to our movement. So I said we're adding an extra click at speed 2, so at 2. 1 click at speed 1. And we're now at speed 2 as well. So we're going to click our thing into place, and all the way around to speed 2. Done. And then we've got the Rebel player's turn, so we'll come back after he's done. So, the Nebulon B has just been blown up by the Onager that had already activated. So, the Nebulon B shot into the front of the Victory, and we took 1 damage, but we moved it across to our side. Then it shot across at the Onager. It used a brace to take it down to 1 to move onto a side. We used the redirect, as well, to move it onto a side. Naughty me, cheating, not turning dials over. Then we used firing back. So we fire back using the attacker's rear value, which is 2 red dice. We rolled a hit and a crit on that, which was enough to blow him up. We now move on to the Victory's activation. So the Victory is going to reveal. What's he going to reveal? He's going to come over here, and we're going to reveal the Victories. And the Victory is revealing a navigate command. So the navigate command, we're going to add an extra click at speed 1. And we're going to go speed 2. So we're going to use it to go up to speed 2. Add an extra click at speed 2 as well. So we're going to go. First of all, we've got fire though. I keep forgetting to fire because I'm used to the Warhammer dynamics. So 2 red dice out of his rear into his side, which has 1 hull left. Again, double hit and a crit. So he hasn't got anything left after the Onager fired at him. So that's going to take his 1 off the side. Oh, So he's got no shield for sure now. And then 2 damage on his hull. And we'll bring the damage deck over for the camera to see. 2 damage on his hull. Then we're going out the side, which is 2 red and a black. So 2 red and a black. So we get double hit and a hit again. So that's going to be enough to destroy the Corvette this turn as well. Right then we move over to squadrons, but there's really no point because even if he destroys all my squadrons, we're still going to have won by A, eliminating both these ships, which gives us 200 points. B, we're going to win because he's got no ships on the board. C, we'll definitely have more points overall than him. So that is our 3 games of Armada for the day. I'll be back with you shortly to talk about the after battle reports.